Well, hello then. Welcome to African Perspective. I am Tshepiso Makwetla. With 34 days to go before South Africa goes to the polls, tonight we focus on the foreign policy of two of the biggest opposition political parties in the country. But first, let's take a look at some of the stories making headlines on the continent. The Gambia is the 22nd African country to ratify a continental free trade area protocol and is now putting it into motion. The idea was firmed up by member states in 2018 and is expected to boost intra-Africa trade. It will see the 55 African states move towards a single market of 1.2 billion people with a combined gross domestic value of 2.5 trillion. Coletta Wanjohi reports from Addis Ababa.
Research shows that with the average tariffs of 6.1%, businesses in Africa currently face higher tariffs when they export within the continent than when they export outside of it. But this could be about to change after the 22 states needed agreed to be part of the continental free trade area. It means African businesses, traders and consumers will no longer pay tariffs on a number of goods, and it is also expected to increase employment.
So an important component of the CFTA is services and the digital economy. How can we talk about Uber today, we talk about payment systems, Googles and Facebooks, and everybody goes to Amazon to procure. The CFTA is, I think, a stepping stone for Africa to have those kinds of services and have a huge service industry that we hope the 16 million youth can get into.
The new trade zone aims to eliminate cumbersome customs procedures or excessive paperwork for cross-border trade.
There is foreseen what we call a simplified trade regime that will make it possible for Africans, even those who have businesses where they have to move merchandise of about $1,000, $1,200, they don't have to incur the huge costs that one would need to trade because the CFTA already has instruments that will facilitate that kind of trade.
It should make it easier for small and medium-sized enterprises to supply their goods within the continent or sell them to larger companies for export elsewhere. However, 33 African countries have not yet signed up to the CFTA.
It is okay to have concerns and to have fears, but much more importantly, if you spend time to have more conversations with the private sector, with the stakeholders, having a better understanding of the contents of the agreement and what it means for the citizens of your country and for the citizens of Africa, we are able to overcome some of these fears.
Member states that have signed up still have to implement supporting protocols like the free movement of persons. The African Union and the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa have come up with a set of guidelines for member states to follow, which will assist them better implement the CFTA. This will, for instance, guide them on what products they should trade and suggest where their competitiveness lies. And although there may be teething problems to start with, it is hoped it will bring prosperity to nations within the free trade area. Coletta Wanjohi, SABC News, Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.